Through the Fog, What Changed? The Record Before the Rewrite. When someone rewrites history to justify walking away, you're left asking one question over and over. What changed? It's not a rhetorical question. In my case, I've got a decade's worth of evidence showing what my marriage was like before 2021, and how radically, rapidly, and inexplicably it shifted after that. The official story was that my ex leaving was a long time coming. But the record doesn't agree. Up until early 2021, there was no sign of detachment, resentment, or a marriage on the rocks. In fact, there was constant affirmation in her words, her actions, and the life we were building. Written in cards, posted on Facebook, spoken to me in everyday life, tell a very different story. Because until 2021, I wasn't just acceptable to her as a husband. I was her rock, her love, the man she'd cross the globe for, the best dad to our kids, the one she would do it all again with. This isn't nostalgia. It's documented. In her handwriting, in her photos, in her public posts. A timeline that makes her claim fall apart. Then, in 2021, everything changed. Not because of years of relationship strain, but because a new workplace Land-D program, built on coaching, NLP, and Ken Wilber's integral theory, gave her permission to act on long-held beliefs and private fantasies she'd never acted on before. This is the story of what changed, and when. The story in her words. For over a decade, her message was consistent. Love, appreciation, partnership. It wasn't a silent endurance of flaws or tolerance of me as some good-enough placeholder. It was active affection. She celebrated our relationship publicly, she praised me privately, and she wove me into the story of her own success. You are exactly what I want, what I need, and what I love. Birthday card, 2012. My heart belongs to you. Card, date unknown. The most selfless man I know. Facebook, September 2019. You are my rock. December 2020. I would do it all again. March 2021. On her 25th anniversary of arriving in Australia. You are worth it. You deserve it. March 2021. When buying a new phone. Better to buy quality. June 2021. Jointly choosing a dryer. These aren't the words of someone emotionally checked out, biding time until an inevitable split. They're the words of someone committed, right up until the end. The decade before, stability and shared life. The timeline starts well before the upheaval. In 2011, she was still talking about manifesting, harmlessly, even playfully. That year, she claimed to have manifested grand final tickets for us. I only found this out in 2025. Her spiritualism, meditating, supplements, natural products, they were background noise. Part of who she was, but not something she weaponized or acted on to destabilize our life together. In fact, she was trying to manifest better lives for our family. That included me. It wasn't threatening. It wasn't something I saw as a danger to us. It was woven into our lives in small, almost playful ways. Let's check out a property. Would you move if we won the Maida Prize? From what I knew, her interest in manifesting was a hobby, an occasional curiosity. When she had her friend Amanda over, who seemed to live and breathe the idea of manifesting, and Tony Robbins, I would ask after she left how much she believed. She would say, as I mentioned, it was just an interest. I didn't know how deep it ran. I didn't know about the documents buried on her computer, the hidden vision boards, or the private conversations where this belief system was fully alive. She was a self-confessed people pleaser, always putting others first, not just me. That's who she was, consistent, reliable, caring. For the next 10 years, there were Facebook posts of love and appreciation. 2019 to 2020, sustained investment and partnership. If anything, the 2 years before 2021 show a couple fully engaged in shared projects and mutual support. I built a deck extension. We bought a new, expensive outdoor setting at the start of COVID because she expected to be working from home more. When the deck was done, We added a table, chairs, and umbrella. We even bought $600 worth of bamboo plants for extra privacy. I put down new floating flooring in the office, an on-the-spot decision when we went to look at possibilities. She wanted to keep up winter walking in 2020 as part of her weight loss program, so I suggested buying a brand new treadmill with all the features to keep her motivated. I bought it the same day and picked it up. Everything points to partnership, shared priorities, and a future together. Nothing points to a slow-motion breakup. Late 2020. Public affirmations. In December 2020, she wrote publicly, "You are my rock." 3 months later, on the 21st of March 2021, she marked her 25th anniversary in Australia with, "I would do it all again," in direct response to me. There's no hidden hostility in that. No coded warning. These were public affirmations of love and gratitude. Early 2021, the coaching environment arrives. In March 2021, the signs of care and connection were still there. She adopted a 16-year-old cat, something you wouldn't do if you planned to leave 4 months later. Something I was against, but went along with because I loved her. She told me, "You are worth it, you deserve it," when I was looking for a new phone, and she encouraged me to get what I wanted. In June 2021, we bought a new dryer together. We chose a quality one with better running costs, a long-term decision, not something you do when planning an exit. At the same time, though, something else was happening. She had started a new job in late 2020. This wasn't just any workplace. It was an echo chamber built around NLP, neurosemantics, and Ken Wilber's integral theory, all wrapped in corporate land branding. The coaching room's own copy says it plainly: rapid change, mindset shifts, breaking patterns, even when you don't think you need change. This was the activation point. Her belief system hadn't changed, but the coaching environment reframed me as the block to her growth. And once you accept that story, the next steps write themselves. The cause and effect chain. Mid to late 2021, behavioral shift. The shift was fast, sharp, and completely out of step with the years that came before. Emotional detachment set in. The language of coaching and breakthroughs replaced the language of partnership. The affair happened. July 2021, she starts an affair. Totally out of character, but emboldened by permission. By August 2021, the marriage was over. The official narrative? That it had been a long time coming. The documented reality? That 9 months earlier, she was still calling me her rock, building a home with me, and making joint long-term purchases. McMaster's, August 2021, the week that tells on itself. 2 weeks after she admitted the affair and said she would end it, a Facebook memory surfaced of us at McMaster's Beach, hand in hand, watching dolphins. 7 days later, the marriage was over again. What changed? Nothing essential. Contact with Rob never stopped. The mission had already formed, even if I did not have the language for it then. Manifesting wealth. Better, more, wealth. Reconciliation only made sense if it served that mission. It did not. The new frame priced everything, including loyalty. When everything is measured by growth and gain, love becomes a cost center. Wealth wins. Through the fog. When you're living in the fog of depression, uncertainty, and vague explanations, it's easy to doubt yourself. I did, for 2 years. In December 2021, I walked into my psychologist's office with my 2021 timeline in hand. It was my way of testing reality, of asking, am I crazy? Or does this actually make no sense? The answer was clear. Nothing in our life before 2021 pointed to a marriage in trouble. Everything pointed to stability, until the coaching environment gave her permission to act on beliefs that had sat dormant for years. Why this matters? It wasn't my personality. It wasn't my habits. It wasn't our shared history. She had accepted those for decades, and not reluctantly, but with warmth, humor, and affection. What changed was the lens she saw me through. This isn't just about one relationship. It's about how rapid change coaching, especially when embedded in workplace land, can destabilize lives by reframing perfectly functional relationships as obstacles to growth. My ex's beliefs didn't destroy our marriage. Coaching ideology, unregulated, unquestioned, and ideologically aligned with her private fantasies, did. It unlocked those beliefs, reframed them as urgent, and gave her the green light to burn everything down. That's what changed. And it happened fast.